Okay, I'm gonna do a tutorial on making an animated, we're doing animation, so an animated GIF, GIF. Now here's one I did. Me, my brother, and Mr. Cross went out for these things called pupusas. And he was chewing, Mr. Cross was chewing at the one photo, and I took the exact same photo. I hit take the picture twice, and I thought, oh, it'd be kind of funny to have him chewing in the photo. So you've probably seen an animated photo like this, maybe as a meme or something like that. We're gonna try and do that. Even this, it looks like I could fix. Like there's a line I can almost see right here in his forehead, and it looks like something near his ear is changing. So maybe I'll even fix this up. I'll show you what we can do quick, how I made this one. First of all, I'm gonna just delete this top layer. First of all, you gotta take two pictures at the exact same, like it's easier if you have a tripod. That way the two pictures are at the exact same kind of angle and lighting and everything like that. So here was the other face that I don't have the other photo, but it's almost the exact same photo except Mr. Cross was looking different. So what I can do is I noticed that there was a little bit up here, and yeah, I didn't do it as good as I could have. So if I zoom in, Control plus to zoom in, I'm going to zoom right in on Mr. Cross's face here. And I just did a straight delete, which, I don't know, I could have done better. So if I come in here and instead of a hard cut, which it looks like I did here, I do kind of one of these fade out ones. And I could even maybe go a little bit bigger. So the line was right here, which means there was probably a little bit of sunlight coming in. Now if I click up here, it'll fade, so those two pictures will fade into each other. Now there was some over here that was doing it. Maybe I'll go right across the top here. Right across, get it? Right across the top here. Anyway, and then that should help it fade a little bit better. Still looks like right there. Let me see if I can. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. Now there's also something right over here. And right around his ear I gotta fix up too. That stuff. So for that, because it is something that I really don't want, I'm gonna maybe a bit smaller. Yeah, I'm gonna use this tool and actually get rid of that. Sorry, this I'm gonna show you in a second how to animate it. I just noticed it as I was looking at the other one that it wasn't edited as nicely as I would have liked, and boom, that looks pretty darn good. Ooh, I don't like that. What's this? This. There, that looks pretty good. Okay, let me zoom back out. There he is. Boom. 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 That looks pretty good. Okay. So, first thing that we need is this timeline down here. Now, if timeline does not show up, we can go window and select timeline here. Okay, I guess I use it more so it shows up. Now, it may say to select between a video timeline and a frame timeline. I would choose the easier one for this is a frame timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. There's our first one. Maybe I'll start it with the nicer one to start. And I'm gonna add another one, turn it on, and then add another one and turn it back off. And maybe I'll put them on for 5 seconds. I don't know, maybe 2 seconds. Maybe 5 seconds is too long. And now we can see how it looks. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna hit play on this. Boom. 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 There we go. Stop. Now, that was a simple one. All I was doing was one little thing. So I'm gonna go say File, Save for Web. Animated GIFs are usually used on the web. Now, you can, I'll show you one with a logo coming up next. You can use animated GIFs for a lot of profile pictures and things like that. Instagram does not allow you to use animated GIFs just because they, I don't know, created their own thing, like I think it's like a boomerang or something. So they don't let you use these animated GIFs. But we'll say save for web. It's a GIF. It's unnamed right now. I'm going to name it in a minute. All this stuff I would just leave the same. It looks good. It looks good. You could change the size, but we'll leave it how it is for now. You can watch it if you would like. It's kind of big right now, but if you want to watch it, there he goes. Excellent. And so let's say save. We'll continue here. And it asks you where you want to save it. So I will save it on my desktop. I got a lot of junk there. And then I'll have it saved. Pupusas. That's what we went for. Pupusa GIF. There we have it. Save. And that's how you easily make an animated GIF. Right there. Now I'm going to do a trickier one from scratch. Let me get rid of this one. So that one should be on my desktop now. I'm going to get rid of that one. No, yes, I want to save this one because I did all those edits to it. Now, I'm going to open up. This is the CKMS Sunflower. First, I don't like how it's locked, and I can't always turn off that lockedness. So, what I always like to do, and we've done this in other things, duplicate the layer, okay, and delete that one. We don't necessarily need to delete that one, but I'm gonna. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try and make, so for my logo for CKMS, I'm gonna want this flower to spin, because it's kind of like a sunflower with a record in the middle. That's also meant to be like a radio signal. So I'm going to want this thing to spin around. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select, but I don't want to select the outside. I actually want to select that inside. So I'm going to say select inverse, and now I've got the flower selected. I am going to cut that. And now it's missing. I'm going to add a new layer here. And I'm going to put it on that layer. Made it off a little bit, but I'll fix that in a minute. I'm going to hide this. And, oh nice. I think it's already grabbed that color, but just in case, I'll make sure. Yeah. And let's fill in this middle. Blue. There we go. So we got a background, we got this, they're on separate layers, so I can just deal with that. Okay, now here is the thing. If it says create video timeline, we can create an animated GIF using a video timeline. You can do a couple different things. Maybe I'll do another video for that. I find it easier just to do a frame animation. So I'm going to create a frame animation. Okay, One thing we can do, I don't want to do this necessarily, but we can, for example, start it up here. We've got it there. Create a new one and bring it down here. Now, if we just hit play on that, it's not that great. Let me loop it a little bit. Loop forever. Like all it's doing is that. Stop. What we can do is if we select the first one and select the second one, there's a thing here, tween, yeah. So what it will do is it'll add in all the in-between frames. So let's say I wanted to add 10 frames in between those two, and I say okay. It's added it. Now what it'll do is it'll move from one spot to another. So you could have it kind of going off the screen and wrapping around if you want, if that's something you want to do. The one thing, now I tried this, I'm going to hit stop again and step backwards and step backwards. Okay, I tried this one. One thing I wanted to do, if you click on the rule bar and drag it out, it'll kind of snap, I think it's snapping right there, down the center. And you can do the same this way, in case you want it centered. So it's a little bit off-centered. I can pull this down a little bit. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks really good. Now what I tried to do was, I thought maybe if I push Control T, so I'm going to set up a new one. I'm going to do Control T, and I'm going to rotate it. Oops. I'm going to rotate it maybe halfway. And I will say, okay, I like it like that. I will add another one. And I will say Control T. And I will move it again to the next pedal. And I'll say I like it. And I'll add another one. Now I'm not going to do too much of this because what I've found is that this doesn't work. So let me go back to the beginning here. It's just not moving. It takes the shape of the last one, which isn't what we want. Step backward, step backward, step backward. You could also push Alt Control Z if you didn't like what you did. Okay, now I got my main one back. Now before I even go into this, oops, I want to get rid of that extra frame. Okay. I know this is the beginning one because I remember it was perfectly in that one. I am going to duplicate this layer. I don't really care what it's called. And then I'm going to rotate it. Now I'm gonna do all the animating after, so I just need to do this. I'm gonna have to do this about 10 times to probably get it all the way around. So I might speed it up at some point, but we're just duplicating the layer. So now it's duplicated, slightly turned. I'm gonna hit Control T, come to the corner, and rotate it again so that that flower is up there. Now, because there are two of these, I really only need to do until this spin gets up here, and then it'll look like it's spinning over and over and over again. So, I'm going to keep going on this. I'll show one more. Duplicate that layer. Control T. And I'm going to spin it again. Okay. Check mark. Okay, I thought it was gonna take 10. It looks like it's gonna take a bit more than 10, because I need these two lines to be over in this quadrant. So maybe it'll take about 15. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going though. It takes a long time. All animation takes a long time, but it's worth it in the end when you have this cool sunflower spinning that you created. Okay, so just over 15, maybe 17, maybe 16. We'll see if it makes it right here. Might make it. I don't know. I haven't been watching the pedals. I haven't really been watching the... Oh, it does. Okay. I've got all the pieces. It looks like it's gone all the way around. I'm going to click check mark here. I'm going to shut off all these eyeballs. Come way down here. Shut off all these eyeballs. Here's my first frame. Looks awesome. I'm going to say add a new frame. And I'm going to shut that eyeball off, turn that eyeball on. Say make a new frame. Shut that eyeball off, turn that eyeball on, make a new frame. Now we got to do this all the way up. Make a new frame. Eyeball off, eyeball on. Make a new frame. Off, on. Make a new frame. Off, on. Make a new frame. Off, on. So I'm at 8. Got to do up to 16 there. Make a new frame. Off, on. Make a new frame. Now this is a trickier one because I'm trying to do some stuff. But there's so much that you can do. You can... Actually, I might want to try one that has me fade into Spider-Man mask or something. I don't know. I'll try that one maybe in a different video. Now, hopefully I didn't miss any here. A lot of tedious work, but it'll pay off, I think. And back to the beginning. Nice. Okay. It says down here 0 seconds. I want it maybe to take 0.2 seconds for all of them, just so that we can see it kind of rotating. And if you notice, each time I click, the picture up there is slightly different. It's because it took a snapshot of that frame. And then once I get the timing set up, so what it's saying is it'll hang for 0.2 seconds on each of these frames. You could have it for a lot longer. On the last one, it was 5 seconds per frame. I'm going to try a little bit of a quicker one here. Okay, so let's hit play. Cool, look at that. That's a little bit glitchy because it's still figuring it out. Let me see. If we just have this thing on rotate, it should just be like it's going around and around. Oh, hang on. It is hanging a little bit too much at the end. So I'm going to delete one of these frames. Yes. And let me try that again. Maybe because it's getting double of that last frame. Oh, it's still doing it. I wonder if I have another frame of the beginning one. I do. I'm gonna get rid of that one too. Now, I think it should just be like it's spinning. Boom. Boom. Can't even tell that it's a different line. It's just going around. So, this is awesome. I've got it on forever. This thing will just keep spinning. Save for web. It's going to be an animated GIF. It's loading it up here. You can pick what size you want it. Right now I have this thing pretty huge. I'm just keeping the quality up. Right now it's on 7 of 16. Maybe I'll start it. Oops. Back again. And boom. There we can see it rotating. Cool. It's kind of like a record spinning. Save. And I could save this to my desktop called I don't know, rotate flower. And then you've got that so that it's constantly spinning around. You can add that in as a profile picture. It'll constantly be spinning in your GAF Google account. It'll be constantly going in the background like that and looks pretty cool. So instead of downloading it, I've seen some people have the animated GIFs in there. Instead of downloading something, you can create your own. And that's what we're going to try doing, something like that. Alright, hopefully this tutorial helped you out. And you can make your own. You can do it with the pictures like the other one. Simple flip-flop between the two. You could make a meme, whatever you think. And try and submit it there.